Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Raw Review 2016 review for February 1st. And this show really fucking sucked. As usual, WWE keeps on putting on shitty performances for us WWE fans to watch. Don't know why, don't understand why, I really could care less. As I've mentioned countless times and will mention one more time, and be the final time I mention this, after WrestleMania 32, I am no longer doing these shitty Raw reviews until they get better. But without a further ado, let's get into things and see how this show went, shall we? Personally, I went ahead and wanted to roll over and die, or something else other than that. Show started off. We had a good introduction with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar having a good promo here. Dean Ambrose was mentioned in the promo, being put in Suplex City and being F5 and so forth. And so we go ahead and had Dean Ambrose come out having a good confrontation with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. I like the introduction to the show. It was a good start off, but everything else was downhill from there. Our first match of the night was Rusev versus Kalisto. This very first match wasn't too bad, not too shabby. The only thing is it ended with a countout. I hate those kind of ending matches that do not have an ending. My only complaint about Kalisto really is he botches his moves quite a bit. I think it might be the tempo and the speed that he's going on for his matches that's messing him up. He may have to slow down his matches a little bit more so that he can execute his moves better and more fluidly, I guess you could say. But he wins in a very good match, a decent match actually, against Rusev. Rusev wasn't all that impressive. He was pretty stale and boring in the ring. So I was not impressed with him in this match. If it wasn't Kalisto facing him, this match probably would have been a absolute fucking bore. So, with that being said, after the match was over, we get an announcement that AJ Styles will be being placed on Miz TV, which I'll get further into and didn't particularly like. So there'll be a minor rant going on in that portion of this review. So we go backstage, we get an announcement that Stephanie McMahon is making Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose tag team to test their friendship against the New Day, seeing if they could handle being a tag team. So I don't quite get any of this shit. Apparently the news and rumors seem to be right on spot, but they are hinting that Dean Ambrose might turn heel, or WWE's just teasing the WWE audience with this rumor, and they're not going to do anything at all. Just to throw people off guard or something like that, I guess. But whatever. So they get a match with New Day at the main event of the show, in a tag team match. Big fucking whoop-de-doo there. Nothing big happened in this show. We next had the Usos facing the Social Outcasts. This was like a fucking complete show for jobbers. It might as well should have been WWE main event or Superstars, for God's sakes. This was a fucking joke. Adam Rose and Curtis Axel, as the Social Outcast mentioned that Bo Dallas wasn't there and what have you. Who the fuck cares? This was shit. This match was a complete bore fest. The Usos win via pinfall. Big deal. Who gives a fuck? After that, we went ahead and finally had the Miz TV segment with AJ Styles. Now, this is where the rant begins and the fun begins as well. This whole segment was a complete and utter joke. I mean, seriously, a complete and utter joke. This, should have been the moment where, you get to hear what AJ Styles had to say about who AJ Styles is, because maybe there are some people out there that don't know who AJ Styles is, based on the fact that they didn't watch TNA very much at all throughout his existence there, or you had a hard time catching this New Japan Wrestling content, or you didn't care for ROH or anything like that. You don't really know who AJ Styles really is, what his wrestling capabilities are, and so forth. And we got to hear The Miz do all the talking in this promo. And I mean, my God, if the guy would have just shut up, this promo would have actually been pretty damn good. And instead, we got some fucking lame ass bullshit where AJ Styles sat in the back, didn't do anything in the background, sitting in a chair trying to answer a question, and was interrupted over and over and over again. The one thing that I liked from this promo, though, was the hint that AJ Styles was being compared to Daniel Bryan based on The Miz, claiming he was the mentor of Daniel Bryan, making him a superstar, which is a fucking joke and a half. No way in hell did The Miz help make Daniel Bryan's career a success in any way, shape, or form. But anyway, yeah, AJ Styles sat back trying to answer questions that this moron was giving him and wasn't able to answer them because he was continuously interrupted. I'd like to see AJ Styles cut a promo just one time on his fucking show. I mean, this is utterly ridiculous. The week before that, last week, we saw AJ Styles try to cut the same promo and he was interrupted by Chris Jericho. So this is just getting a little redundant and a little idiotic, to the point where just give the guy the stick, let him talk, and explain who he is. Out in the middle of the ring, by himself, no one there. I mean, godly, with all the time they have, they could at least give the man that some portion of that time for him to tell us who he is and have him be able to cut a good promo for the audience to see. We've gotten to see his in-ring capability. There's no doubt in hell that he has the skills of becoming one of the greatest WWE performers in a long time since Shawn Michaels. But that's not here or there. At the end of the day, we got to see fucking Miz get his ass handed to him by AJ Styles after he was called a redneck from Georgia and so forth. So there you go. Charlotte facing Brie Bella. Well, before this match even started, they had a backstage interview with Brie Bella, talking about Nikki Bella's surgery on her neck and seeing if she would still be able to return at some point. And Charlotte really stuck it to the Bellas. And she was very, very fucking mean. Like, to the point of utterly evil. A nice touch, though. They trying to make her like an evil version of her father, but her father was a guy that just tried to cut shortcuts. He never really tried to actually end a person's career or anything like that. She was portrayed as like a person who wants to end people's careers in that segment. I'm not saying that they're doing that all the time, But based on that segment, I mean, my God, she looked like she was a person that wanted to end Nikki Bella's career. So nice touch on WWE's part for that. The match itself with Brie Bella was just fucking garbage. I mean, it wasn't even worth anyone's time. It was a joke. Who cares? Um, and that's the problem. This show, you know, could have been potentially well done. I mean, it had a good match and a good promo to start things off. But everything else after that was just downhill and fucking boring as hell. I kept looking at my cell phone, seeing what time it was, hoping the shit would just end already, so I could just do this review and get it over with. We did get an announcement about Bret Hart's cancer, for prostate cancer. I do hope and pray for Bret Hart's sake that he gets over this and is cured from this. I hate to see anyone, and I mean anyone, um, have to deal with any form of cancer. It's absolutely horrible. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Bret Hart. Never to say that his wrestling capabilities weren't great, because they absolutely were. I just, there was just something about him I didn't like. But as a wrestler, he was awesome. And in ring and out of the ring, he was a role model for anyone. I just per se didn't really like him. I mean, there wasn't nothing personal about him that I disliked, except for maybe what he did to WWE, leaving WWE for WCW for more money. But other than that, I mean, the guy was a class act. He was an example of what the face of the company should be and should always be. So, I mean, if Bret Hart was around in today's day and age in his prime, he'd be out doing Roman Reigns every day of the week, and I think Bret Hart would be the face of the company. But with all that being said, I do hope and pray that Bret Hart gets over that illness and gets all that straightened out so he doesn't have the worst case scenario, and that's passing away. Because he's a really good guy. It's just, in my opinion, I didn't really, for some strange reason, didn't like him as the wrestler, but as a person, he was a really good guy. Or I'm not saying was a good guy, is a good guy, excuse me. Big Show versus Eric Rowan after the mention of Bret Hart's prostate cancer situation. This match was utterly retarded. No rhyme or reason. It's just an advertisement and build up towards Big Show versus Braun Strowman. In which case, side note people, Braun Strowman and Undertaker are being said that those plans are nixed. They're not going to be doing that idea for WrestleMania. Thank God. Who is going to face The Undertaker? Who the fuck knows? At this point, it might as well be Kevin Owens. But with all that said, and Big Show, by the way, wins this match by a chokeslam, and that was absolute garbage. So after that, we get Tyler Breeze versus Titus O'Neil. Oh God, this match was a fucking complete waste too. I mean, back to back matches of pointless bullshit with no rhyme or reason. I mean, Titus O'Neil beats Tyler Breeze. Titus O'Neil has been on a winning streak of late, but has been beating nobodies. I mean, place the guy up against somebody who's gotten some sort of build-up and have an upset victory or something. You know, Tyler Breeze has not been doing much of anything except losing. I don't understand why. Talent-wise, he's a good wrestler. Character-wise, I think maybe it's a little, I guess, stale, possibly. I'm not sure. But I'm not really too much into the character, but I love his in-ring work. He's a very good in-ring performer, and a lot of enjoyment comes out of his matches. But he's just in Nowheresville, really. He's losing the jobbers. He's losing to anybody and everybody, and personally, if I was Vince McMahon, I just would not have him on TV until you figure out where you want to go with him and put him in the right direction so he's not like just wasting his time and being on a losing streak, unless you plan on making that losing streak turn into something positive. If it's not positive, then what's the point of even having him on the show and having him lose all the time? It's just fucking pointless. There's no reason to it. But anyway, moving on with this piece of shit fucking show, we get Triple H and Brock Lesnar in backstage talking about how he allowed uh, Dean Ambrose to walk away pain-free from not getting his ass kicked and all that jazz. And they're talking about how Triple H is looking forward for Brock to face him at WrestleMania for the world title. Now, me personally, I don't quite understand. I mean, this would be great, this triple threat match for the World Championship, #1 contenders match, if it wasn't so fucking predictable. I mean, you got three good guys, three good competitors, but the whole thing put together screams predictability. It screams there's going to be only one result, one man's going to win, and that's going to be Roman Reigns. It's all pointed at Roman Reigns. And that's the problem with WWE. They're too focused on one person. They can't have this face of the company bullshit. You can't have one guy being the whole fucking thing. It doesn't work that way. I mean, if you do that, then what happens to the rest of the guys on your roster? You just fucking chuck them into the garbage can and forget about all of them? Which basically that's what they're doing anyway. And look what it's doing to them. It's hurting them. It's making their product boring and dumb as shit. Okay, we also get an announcement. Styles is facing The Miz for the SmackDown episode. It's a big whoop to do. Hope to see Miz get his ass kicked by AJ Styles. I look forward to seeing that if I watch SmackDown. Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. What's the next match? Two good superstars. One small problem. We had this match last week. What does WWE think we are? A bunch of fucking forgetful people with Alzheimer's, or they have amnesia? I mean, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? He is on severe fucking drugs to think that this shit is what we want to see over and over again, week after week after week. The ending of this match was with Kevin Owens losing to Dolph Ziggler. Now, what are they planning on with Dolph Ziggler? Is Dolph Ziggler going to actually go on a winning streak? Is he going to do something with his career? Is he going to end up being in a world title picture somewhere down the line this year? I don't fucking think any of that's going to happen. So what was the point of Kevin Owens losing to Dolph Ziggler? Not to mention, where's Kevin Owens going? Kevin Owens is one of your top prospects as young talent goes, or newbies on your roster, and you're fucking treating him like he's a goddamn jobber. What the hell's wrong with you fucks? Get the hell out of here with this bullshit. From there, we talked about Mark Henry and his 20-year career. Not bad video package on that. Good talent, and I hope someday he gets placed into the Hall of Fame. Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. Match was good. It was okay. Nice to see two former NXT superstars go at it in the middle of the ring of WWE. It was decent. The only problem was the fucking Team Bad members, former Team Bad members of whatever the fuck their names are, which I could care two shits about, go ahead and attack Sasha Banks, and it's a disqualification. So that match kind of ended abruptly, and that was about it on that. R-Truth and Goldust, very funny segment. Loved that. That was very funny. For some strange reason, though, I mean, I don't understand why Goldust was in a bathroom standing on a toilet bowl with no shoes on whatsoever. He was barefooted and then accidentally stepped inside the toilet bowl and supposedly at the end of that promo was told that he stepped in doo-doo. Why does he have to say doo-doo? Why can't he say feces or poop or something like that? He said doo-doo. That's what a baby or a child would say. These are adult men talking like fucking idiots. But regardless of all that, he, Goldust reintroduced the idea again about them being a tag team and calling themselves the Golden Truth, which is actually kind of a catchy team name. I kind of like it. The only problem is R-Truth thinks that he's a weirdo, and Goldust goes on to mention about his 2011 Little Jimmy situation, where he talks about, how he was hooked on Little Jimmy, talking to an invisible person. How does that not make you a weirdo as well? And R-Truth responds back by saying that, well, I'm not the guy who was standing on a toilet bowl barefooted with doo-doo on my feet. And that was just fucking idiotic for him to say that, but whatever. The next thing that came up was the main event, thank God, and that's pretty much it. New Day faced Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose picked up the victory. Dean Ambrose actually got the pinfall in that match, which was very nice and surprising to see. So I like the fact that they had Dean Ambrose pick up the victory on Big E Langston. So I was very happy with that. Brock Lesnar came out though after the match ended. F5 to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns got attacked by the New Day members, and Dean Ambrose got hit with the F5. So that was pretty impressive. Nice little touch to the ending. Kind of left somewhat of a storyline build-up for that, but nothing really is being developed for this pay-per-view. I mean, you get an announcement that Kalisto and Del Rio are going to face in a rematch for the title match. Big fucking whoop-de-doo on that, so who really cares about that? Everything else on the show is just a complete and utter waste. I mean, they had 3 hours to put some sort of storyline build-up together, and all we get is just a load of bullshit for 3 hours. I mean, a couple of things here and there that were good, but otherwise, overall, just 3 hours of wasted time of my life, which I'm getting really sick and tired of doing. But anyway, leave your comments and opinions down below. I'll be more than happy to get back to you guys as I always do. And please lay the smacker down on that subscribe button. Thank you very much, guys, and have a great night. Bye.